Have you ever kept a secret so serious that it changes your life forever? So serious that you feel you can't tell a single soul? Well, for the last 11 years, I've held a secret that has slowly torn me apart. And now, once and for all, I'm going to share my everlasting secret. I was 10 years old. I used to spend a lot of time with my grandparents. We didn't have any consoles at home, so it was a treat to be able to use my uncle's. Every weekend was the same, hours of fun. But one weekend was different. The gut feeling was there, almost as though I knew something was going to go wrong. I didn't quite know what to think. I was always close to my uncle, and we always had a laugh together. But something was different. I can't even begin to describe the look on his face. The moment that door closed, my world fell apart. Everything happened that no child should ever have to experience. So young that I didn't even understand. I didn't understand, but I knew it was wrong. Why was he doing this to me? I don't know how long it lasted, but it felt like forever. Like as though time had stopped and I was stuck there with this monster. Finally it was over. He left, and I was left there alone. I was heartbroken, terrified, betrayed, and confused. So many feelings and so many thoughts were running through my body and mind. I wanted to tell someone what had happened. I wanted to cry out for help so badly, but the man that was once my uncle had said, "You can't tell anyone. The family will break up and it will be your fault, so this will be our secret." So for the sake of keeping the family together, I kept quiet. The abuse continued. I had to refer to it as playing house. But one day the monster got caught. I felt a huge amount of relief run through my body. I had been saved, or at least that's what I'd thought. Obviously it would be a shock, but I never expected my Nan to react in the way she did, talking to me like as if it was partly my fault. She didn't even tell him off, just made us sit silently in the living room. I was warned by my own Nan. She said that I'd better not tell anyone. I couldn't believe what was happening. I was abused by my uncle and betrayed by my Nan, and I couldn't tell a soul. I knew that from then on my life would never be the same. Every Christmas the family got together. Everyone was there. The pair of them tried talking to me and acted like nothing had happened. But I could never forget. Christmas was never the same again. I dreaded every birthday as I knew they'd be there. Instead of being happy and excited, I was scared and hiding behind a fake smile. I couldn't help thinking that the rest of my life would be like this. All this confusion and suffering was slowly eating me up inside. Knowing who I could actually trust became a blur. As time went by, I was slowly building a wall between me and the people I loved and needed. I felt alone in a world of darkness, too young and fragile to handle what I was going through. All I could think about was what would happen if I told the truth or kept the secret. I knew that if I told my parents, then the family would be torn apart. My Nan and uncle would be hated. They would hate me for telling. I couldn't take the pressure of knowing that my secret would destroy my entire family. Equally, I didn't know how long I could be able to live a lie, constantly asking myself things like, do I protect my family from the truth or should they know? What did I do to deserve this? I can't risk causing pain and destroying my family. Will this dark secret eventually drive me insane? I'm alone in all of this. From then onwards, I had nothing but sleepless nights. My mind was running at 100 miles per hour, filled with thoughts of fear, worry, and confusion. When I did finally manage to sleep, I had horrible nightmares, some so bad that I would never tell a living soul. What has this physical and mental torture done to me? I started to slip in school. I was unable to focus. All I could concentrate on was the voices screaming in my head, trying to get out. I drifted from my friends. The teachers just said I was lazy and didn't care about my future. They didn't even bother trying to talk to me. As time went on, I felt more and more alone, like as though I was falling down a bottomless pit. and there was no one to take my hand and stop me from falling. At this point, I may as well have been caged in hell. Now 12 years old, and unable to confide in friends or family, completely alone. A year or two had passed. I had started to believe that I deserved to suffer. Why would it have happened in the first place? I had been punished for the times I misbehaved as a child. The thoughts of deserving to suffer were eating at me. I started to hate myself. All this heartache and rage was building up inside. I resorted to self-harm. Each cut hurt, but it took my mind off the pain my uncle and Nan had caused me, for a short amount of time anyways. Another couple of years had gone by, and one day my mum found out I had been cutting myself. She begged and pleaded for me to tell her why I was doing this to myself, but I couldn't tell her. She got angry and fed up of asking and took me to the doctors. They put me on antidepressants. At such a young age, it clearly wasn't the right thing to do, but I just couldn't tell the truth. After years of holding this secret, I had completely lost control. I almost felt as though I was betraying my family by not telling them. I didn't know what was right or wrong anymore. I had then resorted to drink, and the self-harming continued. My life was a complete blur. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't continue to keep this secret, and I couldn't bring myself to tell them. The curse I was living had beaten me. I cut until I couldn't cut anymore. I had attempted suicide to try and escape this hell. My attempt had failed. I was found and rushed into hospital. I couldn't decide if being saved was a good or bad thing. The worst part of it all was my parents blamed themselves. This really tore me up. I wanted to tell them the truth. I wanted to tell them what had really happened years ago, but I couldn't, for the sake of keeping the family together. Time went by. I had learnt to hide my feelings. A normal teenager would keep a diary to write feelings in for comfort. I couldn't do this, as it was too much of a risk of it being found. I just had to bury everything and move on, as though everything was fine. To this day, I still have the pressure of keeping the secret. My parents still blame themselves, so now the truth is finally out. Mum, Dad, it was never your fault. You never did anything wrong, ever. And now hopefully we can move on and we'll be happy again. I love you.